Well, hello and welcome. What an exciting time we have here. Our expo on the Inspired Gift Fair, which is one of the global online expos of impact here, being at the time of the year where inspiration and gifting is coming up for all of us. We are opening this session at this time with some of our exhibitors here live. So let me just go around the room, as we say, and introduce who is here at this point in time. Hello, Joanne. It's so great to have you here. Joanne is in Australia. So we are international. We have Linnea Johnston. Hi, Linnea. Nice to have you here.
Kia ora, everyone.
Being over in New Zealand, and you are already ahead in time to us here in Australia. Wonderful to see you here. Demetra, you're a very busy lady this morning. Lovely to see you here. Demetra being in Australia, but in a different state to Joanne and myself. And of course, we have Peter here. Little bit red eye because it's almost the end of the day for you in the UK. Hi, Peter.
Hi there. Yes, it's eight in the evening at my end.
Time goes, and time zones is something that when we want to be working, connecting, and attracting clients and collaborations, working across time zones is something that we just all have to learn to work with and make the best of how we can be alive. I nearly said, I mean awake at the different times. But let's get into this exciting session here with our speakers at this time. And we're going to have Joanne. I'm going to talk to Joanne about her expertise around transformation, and in particular, the way she approaches that. I'm going to see what we can find out from how Joanne is looking at what's happening right now and what her, not necessarily predictions, but perhaps guidance or ideas are on what is coming to all of us towards the next year, which is not long to go. So Joanne, I'm going to introduce you with a little bit more detail. Let me just switch the view here. I mean, you've got this here. Wait a minute. Multi-speaker view, I think. Doesn't look like it is, but let's see if it comes through like this so that you and I are together. Right, Joanne, good morning again to you. Joanne is
Morning.
a transformational leader dedicated to helping others step into their authentic leadership and sustainable business growth. And Joanne, you have an immense background and expertise in that area. You are a mentor and in ways really a visionary because you're guiding others, professionals, leaders into their purpose to lead with clarity and create a business that's really thriving through empowered decision making. Joanne, when we talk about leading with confidence and purpose, from your background and the time you have worked with clients, with leaders, what's the first thing that comes to mind that's really important when we want to lead with purpose?
That is such a great question, and thank you. I'm so excited to be part of this gift fair with these other amazing people here on the screen today and over tomorrow as well. The first thing that comes to mind when I get asked about leadership, the first thing that comes to mind is, well, how are you leading self? Because what I know as a business owner is that you might have aspirations for growth, for strategy, to build the business to higher levels than what it is currently, and that can be whatever is relevant to you. What I know is that that will become very difficult if we don't work on our own leadership within. So how do we set ourselves up for success, not just for our clients, our staff, our team, our suppliers, our collaborators? What are you doing for self first? Because if you don't have the right mindset, you don't have the right instincts in play, you haven't defined what your purpose is, what your goals, where you're leading, and how you're going to get there, you're going to struggle. You know, a lot of people say to me, I'm going to try to do that. And I often send back with a quip to say, when you say you're going to try, guess how hard it's going to be? It's going to be trying.
Mm.
For me, the mindset flip needs to be, I will, I am determined to do this. First thing is just flip the language that we use to lead with purpose. And, for the individual, when I think about that, it's giving yourself permission to be in front of the screen, to show yourself authentically. I know the people who are on this screen, we all do it amazingly well. But sadly, a lot of people have an element of hesitation because what if it's not perfect? What if I say oh and ah and swear maybe even on on a screen? What if it doesn't? What if it don't feel right? Well, actually, nobody cares how you feel about it. It's how your customer feels about it when they see it.
Mm.
So they want to see you authentically. And I know that with the escalation, the tidal wave of AI that's coming, one of the most important things we need to remember as a business owner is to turn up ourselves authentically. You look at Linnea's post when she talks about she's in her garden. That is so authentically Linnea, where she's in her beautiful garden, and I just have such envy for the flowers that she has in her garden. But it's so authentically her. And Sigrid, you always turn up in a red. There's always something red on, right? I always have my brand. And so what are you doing to give yourself permission to do those things first before you even consider what leadership for others might look like? So that's long answer to a short question.
Look, I think you've really given us a lot there to take on board right away in that longer answer, which is perfect. So I want to pick up first of all on trying. I so with you, and I
Yeah.
think even though there's been a lot of detail out in the world about how words impact us, how we impact ourselves with our self-talk, and yet it is so easily done that we choose to talk to ourselves in a way that is really letting us down
Mm,
and eroding our own confidence so
mm,
often. I am very aware as I move forward in life and in business as to the words to choose. Now, I want to be positive moving forward and I want to have a positive effect on people around me, but it's not always that easy
no.
come, to have those words come to mind. Joanne, would you say it is something that we should actually perhaps practice, or is it really coming with this inner determination of, I'm doing it, not I'm trying, I'm going to try, but I'll do it? What do you
Yeah. I think I'm going to say yes to both. I'm going to sit on the fence on here on this one, Sigrid, in that you give yourself permission. Not every day is going to work out exactly how you wish it will. Life happens, stuff happens in our lives. So I think the first thing to have determined first is what is that big lofty goal that you have in your mind, and have you determined it? I know with many of the women that I speak to, they may not have articulated it or really defined what that looks like. Uh, when I think about my purpose and why I do here, my ultimate success metric is when I'm in a position to scholarship my entire offer to 1,000 women a year. Now, that's a lot, and that's a big number. Do I know how I'm going to get there? I'm going to do it by doing little things each day. But it's that vision which literally gives me goosebumps, and I've got them again today. It's that thing that gives you goosebumps, maybe a little bit of trepidation in your tummy, going, "Oh, I'm really not sure how I'm going to tackle that." But it's having that in mind all the time. So yes, practice it all the time, but also have in mind, and Diana, you do a lot of this stuff with, I'm sure, with the leaders that you speak to about having goals that you can aspire to, that keeps you going, that enables you to pick up that phone one more time or direct message somebody new again today, and not have, not be disappointed if you get crickets or there's just a flat no. It's not about you, right? Those things are not about you. And that's hard. I even find that hard. You go, surely you'd love to talk to me, etc., or hear what I have to say, but not everybody's your client, right? So it's both. I really feel it's both.
You have to put the two things together on the table to work
Yeah.
on for sure.
Yeah.
So I like that you have mentioned a few times now about having a goal and being intentional. Let me just come to something that I know you've said, I've seen you write about as well before. You know, it's about being more intentional, more self-aware, and more connected to that impact that we want to make. When we think about that, more intentional, more self-aware, and more connected to the impact we want to make, and we're thinking about leading with confidence and purpose, particularly moving into the year ahead. Of course, we are not here with a crystal ball to predict anything, but I think sometimes we can kind of look back at what's happened and draw some sort of conclusion moving forward. I think to me that is often something I like to do. That is not being judgmental or judging a situation, but it is kind of looking at the logic of it all. This is what happened. That was the outcome of it. So moving forward, this could possibly be the way it might look. And you mentioned AI. Now we're all familiar with that in the market and getting stronger. And at this point in time, there's a lot of information that we all probably have only snippets of yet. In the work that you do and the clients you work with, and I know it is predominantly women, but you do obviously work with men and women to transform their leadership style and their leadership ways. But looking at that AI, what do you think is the impact for leaders, particularly in the way you work with them?
Yeah. I think AI is causing a huge, I'm not even going to say a ripple effect, a tidal wave of impact on business. I was very fortunate to be part of a discussion panel with Queensland Government about a month ago about AI and the impact it has on small business and the barriers for small business and how they approach it. The discussion sat around how employers, their research suggests, which was pretty large, there's a lot of employers out there that are hesitant to implement it. A, because they don't understand it, they're not educating themselves. It's changing so swiftly. How on earth, if you do educate yourself, how do you keep on top of it? And three, how do you give permission to your team to implement it within your business so that you don't lose the essence of your business? And anybody who knows me, they've heard me say this phrase for probably 20 years, high tech, high touch. And I've used technology in a very large way, even 20 years ago, first to be automated, first to be paperless, and repurpose a whole bunch of data entry people to be forward facing with my clients, which had a massive impact on my business. And so I think with AI, we have to, and I can be very guilty of this, getting caught up in the new shiny toy. There's so many new toys popping up and going, oh, that looks amazing. Let me go check that out. You have to have the discipline to go, right, well, do I need it today? Is it giving me the impact that I need today? But if you're not going to step into it or lean into it, you are going to you will get left behind. But what I do have a deep sense of is that our customers still want to know that we are real, that we are ourselves. And so, as I mentioned before, we see Linaire with her beautiful garden, you in red, me, or I turn up regularly on video as well. It's super important for me. I will use it to take the heavy lifting of the day-to-day, the humdrum, the stuff that you go, wow, there's got to be an easier way to do this thing that still I can turn up authentically. And that's the high tech, high touch methodology for me, is embrace technology so that it takes the heavy lifting off you so that you can show up authentically as you and have that one-on-one with those customers where you may not have that opportunity when you're in the doing all the time, whether you should be there or not.
Yeah, yes. I think that is certainly something for all of us, like when anything was the first or just started, we some of us jump in head first and try it all out and get a bit confused with it. Others sit back and wait and get a little bit fearful of it as well. So you've got to find, each person out there's got to find their own balance, but there's no going back. It is here to stay, just like we had TV, like we had computers, like we had,
Well, the internet.
mobile phones, everything. It's here to stay. We're moving forwards with it. So finally, on the final note for this conversation with you, Joanne, the circle builder. Give us a little insight into what is the circle builder. Just for us to understand that a little bit.
Yeah. Thank you. Great question. The Circle Builder has come about as a number of you will know, came about as a result of my master's degree that I completed earlier this year and a research project that I did. If I put into corporate speak, it's advisory boards. It's putting people around you that can support and lift you. But that language doesn't sit well with small business. Small business will also say don't have the budget for an advisory board, and that's not what I'm talking about. This is about surrounding yourself with amazing people, which is why I enjoy being part of this group. Look at these people that are on this screen. The skill sets that they have, I don't have. And so it's about understanding and me helping women in business to understand that you don't need to have to be doing everything. You don't need to know everything. And so one of my largest and biggest business success metrics has been collaboration. So you're going to see a lot of me speaking about that coming from now, over the next going forward. I see that as the lovely bridge about collaboration is about, and circle building is about bringing people into a trusted place that you get to know one another, that you collaborate with one another. Whether Sigrid and I do it, or Peter and I do it, or Melanie and I do it, it doesn't really matter. It's identifying where am I not in flow with what Sigrid does, that maybe we can support one another in helping us to take that pressure off. And circle building, so therefore it's about, circles have been around for millennia. We know that it's a safe place. It's a place to be held accountable to. It's to support and guide one another, give a hug when we need it, give us a bit of a tap about back of the head when we need it. But it's to bring people together in circle to support and guide so that you can collaborate with one another. That's what Circle Builder's about.
Fantastic. I love that explanation there. And what I'm taking away from it and moving with is moving forward together. I like that. That's the Circle Builder. You're building circles of people who want to collaborate, work together, support and uplift each other. Thank you, Joanne, for those insights at this time. Thanks.
My pleasure.